What's up, everybody? We're back with our weekly show that's in danger of not being a weekly show because
we skipped 4 weeks.
Just some amount of weeks we haven't been here. But you know, if you've been watching the news or alive and existing, you might maybe understand why. Because we've been a little busy. What have we been doing? We've been going to the beach.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Vacation.
Yeah, it's been a real breeze.
Nothing stressful. Maybe the least stressful time of the company's existence.
Some people don't get sarcasm. Can't do this.
Oh, sorry, that's sarcasm. Sorry, sarcasm.
Yes.
It's a sign.
Yes. Anyways, I am joined by Sam and Austin.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about tariffs. We're going to talk about these things that I have in my hands. We're going to talk about other things. And yeah, this is why we dragged Sam.
Are we going to talk about other things?
I don't.
We usually do.
It's a wide-ranging weekly variety show.
Cool. Really gets off the rails. I'm going to try and bring some organization to this.
Is that what you're here
this
for?
Weekly show. That's why I'm here.
Follow the schedule.
It's getting a little too wild.
No, that's fair. It's a good critique.
Okay, we made a wonderful, I think, in my opinion, resource for understanding our
Guess who wrote it?
response.
I'll give you one
to...
guess.
Okay, we made a mediocre response.
No, it was great. You did great, Sam. You did great.
We made a website and posted a blog post on it that talks very in depth about everything that we were doing in response to tariffs. Hopefully, it becomes irrelevant very soon. That would be amazing, best case scenario. But it goes into what our plans are for the next couple months, what they are right now, what we expect to happen. And you should check that out because it goes into a lot more detail than we are going to go into here. There is, on the blog post, a TLDR at the bottom so that hopefully you don't see it until after you've read the whole post. But now you're just going to go look at it and just read that.
And for context, we are recording this on Friday the
24th.
25th.
No, 25th.
25th.
Friday the 25th.
Of 2025.
The imports on board games and many other things from China to the United States are currently at 145%.
Correct.
There is a little bit of misinformation going around the internet and board game circles that it's not 145%. That is wrong. So if you've seen that, it's just plain wrong. And yeah, I'm going to jump into this and then we can just
run it.
Keep talking about stuff. Our number one, first, most important talking point is we are not going to charge backers more money in the United States. This only affects backers in the United States. We're not going to charge backers in the United States any more money to receive their games. If we end up having to pay a tariff, even if it is 145%, we will pay that tariff on backers' behalfs.
It goes up to 500%.
If it goes up from 145%, there's a lot bigger problems in the world that we're gonna have to deal with. Brink and Tend are the only projects that could be affected by this. Brink is going to be affected by it immediately, basically, and Tend might be. Tend's production is not scheduled to be done until at least June, and so we don't even have to think about the import taxes that we might have to pay until that time. And so if things cool down, tariffs come down, maybe we even make a decision to import it anyway. There's lots of stuff that can happen between right now and June to either affect Tend or not affect Tend. All other projects, Scales of Fate, what we're about to talk about here, any new crowdfunding projects that we might have coming out, unaffected by tariffs. We can plan for those. Once again, as long as tariffs don't go up higher than they currently are.
Quick question for you, for the people at home. Mm-hmm. How does paying a tariff work? So this is something I didn't know before we, 3 weeks ago. When do we pay the tariff? When does it, how does this happen?
We can do this. We'll get a little bit technical here.
Yeah.
The tariff is paid by the importer of record, which is us in the case of our board games. It is the company that has purchased the goods from another company. And in the case that we're talking about, from China, from a Chinese company. And so the goods are paid when those goods arrive in port at the United States. If you don't pay them, the United States government takes possession of those goods and through a complicated process makes it so that you have to pay them to get the goods, or eventually they will liquidate them to someone else. Or just destroy them if no one can buy them. And so that's not a good scenario. We want to avoid that. So until you know you can pay the tariffs, you don't want to import them because they get stuck in bureaucracy land if you don't. Tariffs are charged based on the Harmonized Tax Schedule, which is HTS for short. Every type of good has a code within the Harmonized Tax Schedule, and there is a tariff percentage that's associated with that code. Board games have a few different codes, but most board games fall under one code. When we were talking about the misinformation that was going around, it has to do with this HTS system, the Harmonized Tax Schedule system. The HTS code for board games is at 20% right now, which is part of why it is confusing, because it's only at 20%. What is happening on top of that is that there is another part of the Harmonized Tax Schedule system. It's called Section 99, which we're going to get into, or Chapter 99 sometimes. It applies another 125% tariff to all goods imported from China. There are a few exceptions right now, and there's also a few things that are taxed even higher. Yeah. But for the most part, it's easiest to think about it as that there are two HTS codes that get applied to board games coming in from China, and they together total 145%. And then we, as the importer of record, have to pay those tariffs.
Good question.
Was that good? We got kind of deep there.
No, that's fine. It's good for everyone to know how tariffs work. Continue.
Okay. Let's see. Where else? Non-U.S. fulfillment. Brink and Tend. We were talking about how Brink and Tend are the only projects that are affected. Non-U.S. fulfillment of Brink and Tend will, for the most part, not be affected. There's a little bit of new logistical complication around separating the orders in China and stuff that will add a little bit of time to the process, but for the most part, they will be unaffected. Yep. Let's see, I have on here tariffs really suck. Tariffs really suck. There are plenty of good arguments for why tariffs can be a good thing. We don't care about that. They suck.
I'll add more of that later.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so why are we delaying Brink immediately and potentially 10? It is more about the volatility of the tariffs right now. What is happening is that the tariffs are changing almost every week. I don't think they changed last week, but besides that, every single week, something about the amount of the tariffs or how they are being implemented has changed. And because of that volatility, we just don't know. We don't know what the tariffs are going to be 3 weeks from now, or 4 weeks from now, or 5 weeks from now. And so we are choosing to just pause and just wait for the situation to stabilize a little bit, so that even if we do have to pay the 145% tariff, we know that that's not going to be different a month from now.
And it feels like, just on vibes, this is the highest that they will be.
It does feel that way. Those are the vibes.
But we're making plans at this current rate to hopefully jinx it into not being this current rate. We'll see how that goes.
Definitely. I was talking about having the money to pay the tariff. No one really plans to have 145% extra dollars to pay a tariff like this. But we are doing something that we're going to talk about a little bit later to raise the funds to make sure that we do have those in the event that we can or are forced to pay 145% tariff.
Right.
Let's see. We do expect some amount of tariff to remain. It's been a large part of Donald Trump's trade policy. He campaigned on it. We generally, the whole world just kind of seems like it's not going to fully go away. So we are still preparing to be ready to pay some amount of tariff, somewhere between 10% and the 145% that it is right now. Hopefully on the lower end of that.
And this is something that we've been thinking about since
it
he was
has.
elected.
Yeah,
So-
he's been talking about it for the last year, really. And so it's something that's been on our minds. People have...
Not 145% on our minds.
Oh gosh, no. Yes, the amount of the tariff certainly changes how we can approach it. Not too much more to talk about. We are not changing our prices on our current projects, or current products that we have right now. So everything that we have in stock and in the US is not changing at the moment. Not going to promise that, but at least for the next month or so. Did you have something?
Yeah, we do have some stuff that's probably going to go out of stock though, because print runs are held up in China. It's not just Brink and Tend. We have restocks we were planning to use on our Shopify store that are now just stuck in China for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, very much so. And then the last thing is I mentioned that we are doing something to make sure that we are in a great financial place to pay whatever tariffs we may need to pay. And that has a lot to do with the three things sitting on the table right here in front of Zach.
Yes.
And we are calling it the terrific tariff trade.
Very nice. Good
TTT.
alliteration. Yeah.
TTT.
Yeah.
TTT.
TT.
Wait, but before we get to the fun stuff, I do want to say that this is brutal stuff. Just so you don't think that we're just like, we've been working very hard on a plan for the last 3 weeks, especially Sam and Austin and Kirk and Lily. It's been like all we've been working on and thinking about. And man, this sucks. So
Yeah.
we've been trying to figure out a way to do it in the way that best serves you, our audience, and the way that we can survive and keep making things for you, making things that we love, making stuff that you want to buy, and keep that going. But like, we have been working so hard to like build to a place where we feel amazing, like about like our audience and about like our upward trajectory. And this is, if this stays in place, like we're doing everything we can to make it, but it's very painful. It's gonna really set us back. We're already making decisions that are going to slow our growth, and it's not good.
Not just our growth either. Like we're gonna have to cut back on how we partner with other people, how we partner with cons, the investments that we make there. Like it's gonna touch every area of our business, and that's going to have an effect on jobs, on other people's income, on other businesses' viability. It's really going to be far-reaching.
Yeah, for everyone.
It's going to hurt us, but it's going to hurt everyone around us also. And that really sucks to think about.
Yeah, it's important to call it out as a laugh or cry situation, because we do a lot of laughing, but it's not because things are great.
Yeah.
It's definitely putting a bold face on a terrible situation.
Yeah, it's forcing us to release projects early that we were really excited about having their own thing. It's forcing a lot of things that we didn't want to do. We're gonna have to make decisions that we don't want to make because of it. Personally, we ended Scales of Fate, and I was just like, man, this is the best I have felt about business in 5 years probably, and all that progress we made may be gone. So
It was also the same
bad
day.
feelings.
Oh my gosh, it was literally 5 minutes after the Scales of Fate campaign ended that this stuff got announced, and we like heard it all. It was like, there was like 5 minutes of happiness, and then
It was a great 60 seconds.
Yeah, it was great.
I got off the live stream, and Kirk was like, tariffs are 100 and, well, I don't even remember what they
Yeah,
were.
at
That was
that time
54%.
they were just, no, it wasn't even
20.
54%. It was just the
20%.
20.
We would be so happy to go back.
Oh my gosh, do you remember those days?
They were 3 weeks ago.
We were like 20% end of the world. No. So yeah, we've been going through it over here. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm sure you all have been going through it as well.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep on keeping on, and we've got some new games to show you.
We do.
We do. Yes, the tariffs, not fun. These 3 games
Are fun.
very fun.
So you know about Pillars of Fate.
You do.
It is in the Veil of Fate universe.
It is.
It was a part of our Scales of Fate campaign.
It was.
And it's in this nice little box. And look, we have 3 games that are in this nice little box, and we're probably going to make more games in this nice little box. You pointed like you're.
You did.
I did.
Yeah, don't point like that.
No,
You're
I
not going
realized
to
I
say
shouldn't say
something.
the thing that I was going to say.
Oh.
It was a spoiler.
Awesome. Love spoiling
I do
things.
like spoilers.
So we have Draft. It is a card drafting game in the 10-diverse. And yeah, and then we also have Time to Panic, which is a co-op card game.
And aptly named.
Yes. Yeah. This was pre-tariffs. We didn't know that we would be panicking. We didn't know that it would indeed be a time to panic. But it was. Maybe we caused this. Was this our fault?
It's our fault.
Time to Panic, it's a co-op game, not tied to any of our universes, but a very fun art direction and art style from our good local friends, the Lasseters, aka Lasso Studio. Been wanting to find a game to partner with them on for a long time.
Important thing about this one, plays 1 to 4. For our solo friends out there, it is a great little solo puzzle.
It's tough too.
It
it's
is hard.
challenging.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of different game modes that you can play in this one. But yeah, three games that you can pre-order right now. And
Hey, can
What?
you show off some wood bits?
wood bits.
Ooh.
I don't know. I hope
Just
they're in these
speaking
boxes.
to the pre-order thing, that's the previously mentioned terrific tariff trade. We were planning on launching these games at Gen Con. They were going to be fully printed. They were going to be available to buy at Gen Con. You did already know about Pillars of Fate, but the other 2 were mostly secrets. We do playtest on Discord. If you want to know about things before they're actually announced, that's the only way to do it. Instead of launching them at Gen Con, we decided to include them in this pre-order thing that helps us raise some cash to pay for tariffs. And
But they'll still be at Gen Con.
they'll still be at Gen Con
That's the plan.
if you can't afford to pre-order them now, but they will also, if you're not going to be at Gen Con, they will ship to you in September, which is way faster than any Kickstarter campaign
Yeah.
that we have ever done, or maybe anyone has ever done.
There's that one Halloween game that must have already printed.
Yeah,
'cause
that was
they
really
shipped it in
fast.
2 months, yeah.
They did.
Can I talk about Brink stuff?
Sure.
All right, so Sam mentioned something about Section 99, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And Section 99 is the name of the new Brink micro expansion. And it's very aptly named because tariffs have come to the Moonrakers universe in this little expansion. And it basically adds a new hex to the Brink board. And that hex, anytime someone takes the upgrade action, they have to put one of the cubes they used to pay for that action into this hex. And eventually, a player is going to put their ship there to take all those cubes, but it's also negative victory points for doing so because, nobody likes it when you steal all their tariff money. But I really, really love this expansion. It's an idea that we had beforehand, and then when this came out, it was just like, oh, that's going to be a perfect marriage of the current situation in the world and a micro expansion that we can use to help offset some of the tariff prices. So
Yes, to give these guys some kudos, the idea existed before the tariffs came into place, but there was no design, hadn't play tested, anything like that. And they, in 3 weeks, got all that stuff together, and it really adds a nice little element to Brink. It is a micro expansion. It's not going to change the game drastically, but it's a fun little addition, and it goes a long way to helping us with the tariff stuff.
the playtesters loved it, so I was really, really happy with the stuff we were able to do.
And then we have another thing.
Last thing.
The last thing. 5 things. 1, 2, 3.
4.
4. Austin is the 4. Order 99. Not Order 99. What
Section
is it?
99.
Order 66.
Yes.
No. Section 99. And we keep changing names for things, like at the last minute. Like I make a thing and I put a name on it, and then Sam has a better idea for the name. And I was like, that's better. And then I never remember the name for anything.
Your existing name
was bad.
Was pretty terrible. I don't know who came up with that.
I came up with it. Was like UA Levy, but I agree it was bad. I agree it was bad.
This is not his first time saying he thought it was bad.
I had 60 seconds to put a name on the thing, okay?
It's usually me sneaking in Star Wars references, but you managed it that time.
No, it was him. It was just like, it should be called Order 99. Nope.
Section 99.
And I was like, that's cool. And then I changed it. So forgive me for not remembering the name.
What's the last name?
It was called the UA Levy Depot.
Yeah. I agree. It was bad. No one is disagreeing here.
What's the last thing?
The last thing is we made a set of Moonrakers playing cards or poker cards. And 52 cards, 2 jokers.
54 cards.
Yeah, he got there.
2 plus
And 2 jokers.
Okay.
54. All right. I think this is like Sam being like, this blog post is pretty good. I'm like, these cards, they look pretty cool.
But they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they do.
I'm excited for how they came out. We still got more tweaks. Dane's out of the office, so he's gonna come back and tidy him up for me a little bit. If you're watching this, Dane, hello. I hope your vacation's going amazing.
He's on the beach.
Tariffs still a thing, in case you were sorry to break that to you. Maybe
Zach,
it's like, maybe I'll go on vacation and come back and all the problems of the world will be solved.
Zach, I really do enjoy, just being able to have conversations with you and trusting that you're going to figure it out. Because on our phone call about the poker card deck, it wasn't going well.
It
we
wasn't?
Were like, how many colors are there? And like, how do we get the Moonraker symbols with like the hearts and the clubs and all of that? And I had a little bit of doubt that you were going to be able to pull it off. But then I was like, it's Zach. He'll figure it out.
Have I not established a track record?
That's why I said
for
it.
Trust
I ended up
these
trusting
years?
you. And then the pictures got sent out and they were great. I was very happy.
Get no respect around here.
I respect you.
Thanks, Sam. Except for you don't like my names for things.
Bad name.
They can't all be gold.
Can't all be gold. I interrupted you, sorry.
You came up with Time to Panic, right?
So, okay. I mean, we need to do whole videos about these games because they all have their own story. But Time to Panic started on a call where Austin and I
don't care about the game. I
What?
just mean the name.
Oh, the name. I don't know. Naming things is the most chaotic, creative process that there is. It's just like you just come up with like 20 names that are all horrible, and then eventually you're like, maybe that one's
One
okay.
kind of sticks.
Yeah, and then that sticks.
This was Pillars of Fate, then it was Columns of Fate. And then we were like, we're back to Pillars. Yeah. This one I do think was Zach. I think you're right. This one was definitely, it's either Zach or you. I think this might have been you, Sam.
It was me.
Yeah. Because we had something
Oh yeah,
else.
yeah. Graft was you. That was great.
Yeah.
Trying to remember what all the other
People could...
the other good names for Time to Panic was.
Anyway, we will be making videos about these overview videos, how to play videos. All this tariff stuff was just very rushed, so we haven't gotten those out quite yet.
Yep.
On the page that I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, there is a lot of information about them. I don't know if I should say a lot. There's enough information about them to understand what they are like. But we will have videos coming out about all 3 of them. And maybe Section 99? We don't actually have a physical Section 99
We
here.
could do a Brink unboxing and playthrough, maybe. We'll see.
It's also very simple. It's going to be like a 60
You would just be
video,
watching a
but-
Brink playthrough with
Yeah.
with Section 99.
Yeah, the rules fit on a single card. Like it's very simple.
And I just want to be clear. Sam said like he was happy that we were able to come up with something in 3 weeks for Section 99. These have been in production for a long time. These are not rushed in any way. We've been planning for these to be launched in August for a very long time. So, yeah.
That's why they are done, and we have them in real life.
Yeah.
So yeah. What else we got? We have anything
I
else?
think just thank you for being here. We aren't stoked about tariffs, but we are doing the best that we can with the hand that we've been dealt. And I think that I am really happy with what we are able to do in our partnership with you. Not charging people specifically to cover tariffs, having another way to generate some revenue to cover the tariffs is something that I'm really excited about. It's kind of a standard that we tried to set. We set it back when COVID was driving shipping prices through the roof. We didn't charge people extra then. We're very glad that we can have another way to not charge extra for it right now. That being said, we had these developed. Section 99 was already an idea that existed. Some companies just aren't in that position right now, and they're gonna have to ask for some extra money if they have to pay for tariffs. And so I hope that you'll choose to support us and help us by pre-ordering these games and getting some really fun things into your collection. But also, if you're an avid Kickstarter backer and another project really needs you to contribute some money, I hope that you'll consider doing that and not think too poorly of them. These really large, unexpected expenses, they're super hard to deal with if you're not just a little bit lucky, kind of like we are, and you can plan for them a little bit, but this is just a huge one.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not just small companies either. I mean, big companies that have $1 million worth of product in China, like suddenly needing $1.4 million is insane.
I am part of a peer group of company owners in the world with companies of tons of different sizes, and the one thing that I have learned from all the business people that I see and talk to in there is that cash flow never stops being a problem.
Yeah.
for almost every business at any size. And when something like this that is so unexpected hits your cash flow like that, it's just hard to deal with, no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to help us, terrific tariff trade.
I'm sure we'll put a link somewhere.
And also,
it will be right in the description, right below this.
And also call your representatives. It's pretty easy. And tell them that these tariffs are hurting your best friends. Austin, Sam, and Zach, and Lily, and Dane, and Kirk.
Pauline.
And Pauline, thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
But you have to name us specifically. They'll know. They'll know who you're talking about. They'll know.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'll try to do one next week. We've been very tired.